All right, if you're a senior living in Massachusetts, chances are you've heard some talk about a special refund check from the state. Well, I'm here to tell you, not only is it very real, it's actually getting bigger. So today, we're going to dive into one of the most valuable and honestly most overlooked tax credits out there, the senior circuit breaker. Okay, take a look at this number. This is the one you want to remember. For the tax return you file in 2025, that's for the 2024 tax year, the maximum refund has shot up to $2,730. And let's be super clear. This isn't some complicated deduction that just lowers your tax bill. No, this is the direct check from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts sent right to you. Now, the official name is the circuit breaker, which is fine, but I like to call it the fairness refund. And here's why. The whole idea is actually pretty simple and, well, fair. The state gets it. They know that property taxes and rents are going through the roof, but for many seniors, income stays fixed. So if what you pay for housing gets to be too high compared to your income, the state steps in, trips the circuit breaker, and sends you a check to help out. Simple as that. Okay, so the big question is, does this money have your name on it? It really comes down to four basic pillars. Think of it like a checklist. We're going to go through them right now, and if you can check all four boxes, you're in great shape to claim this money. So let's break it down. First up, age. You got to be 65 or older by the very last day of the tax year. And here's a great little tip for married couples. Only one of you needs to be 65. Super helpful. Second is residency. Pretty straightforward. You have to live here in Massachusetts. It has to be your main home. Third is income. Your income has to fall below a certain limit. And don't worry, we're going to look at those exact numbers in a second. And finally, number 4, and this is for homeowners only, is home value. Your home's assessed value has to be under the cap. All right, here are those income limits for the 2024 tax year, the one you'll file in early 2025. If you're single, your total income has to be under $72,000. For a head of household, it's $91,000. And for married couples filing together, it's $109,000. Now, these numbers are important, but, and this is a huge but, the real secret is in how you calculate that income. And that's the part that trips everybody up. And for all you homeowners listening, here is that property value number. For the 2024 tax year, your home's assessed value needs to be under $1,172,000. Let me say that again because it's so important. This is the assessed value. That's the number your town uses on your tax bill, not what a real estate agent says you could sell it for. Big difference. Okay, I really need you to listen closely for this next part. I mean it, because this is the number one reason eligible people miss out on thousands of dollars. I call it the total income trap, and it's a super common mistake, but you are not going to make it. Before you even glance at the taxable income line on your tax return, I want you to just stop. For this credit, and only this credit, the state uses a totally different definition of income. See, they don't care what's taxable. They want to know what your actual real-world ability to pay your bills is. This is the biggest hurdle, for sure, but we are going to jump right over it together. So here's how you do it. You start with your income from your tax return, but then you have to add back some things that are normally tax-free here in Mass. That means you have to add back your entire Social Security benefit, the gross amount before they take out Medicare or anything else. You also have to add back public pensions, for teachers, police, firefighters, and any tax-exempt interest too. It's all about getting to that true number for your household. Okay, that is enough of the rules. Let's make this real. Let's actually run the numbers with an example. So I want you to meet Jane. She's a homeowner out in Natick, and we're going to figure out if the state owes her some money. So here's Jane's situation for 2024. Her total income, once we add back her Social Security, is $30,000 for the year. Her property tax bill was $8,500, and on top of that, she paid $1,200 for water and sewer. Got it? Okay, let's do the math. Stick with me. This is easy. First, we find what's called the 10% threshold. The state figures you should be able to pay about 10% of your income toward housing costs. For Jane, that's $3,000. Next, we figure out her actual housing costs for the credit. She gets to count all $8,500 of her property taxes, plus half of her water bill. That's another $600, so her total is $9,100. Now, step 3 is the fun part. We subtract her threshold from her cost. $9,100 minus $3,000 is $6,100. That's how much extra the state thinks she paid. And here we go. This is the magic moment. Her credit is calculated at $6,100. But remember, the max for 2024 is $2,730. So what happens? She gets the maximum. That's right, Jane is getting a check from the state for a whopping $2,730. Fantastic. Okay, but what about all the renters out there? Don't you worry for a second, you are not left out of this. The state has a really smart way of making this work for you, because they know a big chunk of your rent is just paying your landlord's property taxes. So let's meet Bob and Linda. They're a retired couple and they rent a place in Quincy. All right, here's the rundown on Bob and Linda. Their combined total income for the year is $36,000. They pay $2,200 a month in rent, and they don't get any kind of government subsidy for it. Now, for renters, there's a special rule. The state says, okay, we're going to assume 25% of your annual rent is what you paid toward property taxes. So for Bob and Linda, that comes out to $6,600. We call that their proxy tax payment. Their 10% income threshold is $3,600. So we subtract that from their proxy tax, and that leaves a difference of $3,000. So what does that mean? Well, just like Jane, their calculated credit of $3,000 is higher than the maximum. They hit the cap. So Bob and Linda are also getting a check from Massachusetts for $2,730. This is perfect proof that this credit is for everyone, homeowners and renters alike. So we figured out if you qualify, we've done the math, but now for the most important step of all. How do you actually get your hands on this money? This is where we have to talk about what I call the non-filer paradox. I hear this all the time. Someone will say, look, my only income is Social Security, and that's not taxed in Massachusetts. I don't owe the state a dime, so how could I possibly get a refund? And you know what? It's a completely logical question. It makes perfect sense. But in this one case, it's the wrong way to think about it. The answer is simple. You have to file a Massachusetts tax return, even if you owe zero. Think of it less as a tax return and more like an application for this refund. You just fill out the normal Form 1 and attach this one extra form, Schedule CB. Because it's a refundable credit, they'll send you the money even if you paid nothing in taxes. The bottom line is this. You have to file to get paid. No form, no check. Oh, and I've got one more piece of really good news. What if you're just learning about this now and you realize you missed out? Well, guess what? You haven't lost that money. The state gives you a 3-year window to go back and claim it. It's like finding money in an old coat pocket, but a lot more of it. You have until 2025 to claim the 2021 credit, until 2026 for the 2022 credit, and all the way to 2027 for that big 2023 credit. It's found money. So let's just put it all together. If you were eligible for those last 3 years but didn't know you had to file, there could be more than $4,900 just sitting there, waiting for you. And that doesn't even count the new, bigger credit for this coming year. It's your money. It's sitting in an account in Boston with your name on it. The only question left is, are you going to go get it?